We need you, boy.
Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with some juice to get you through the long night. In Game of Thrones Season 7, we saw the Night King kill a dragon. He killed Viserion and reanimated him. You guys know what I think. A dragon is not a slave. But that's not what we're here to debate. I hate reliving what we're about to relive, but I think there's a big possibility that we are going to be seeing some crazy shit in Season 8. So I figured, let's get prepared. In Season 7, we saw a polar bear, we saw giants and dragons, all in the Night King's army. So what can even top that at this point? Well, let's talk about that. So Game of Thrones is like the best TV show of all time. I said it, don't at me. So they have to pull out all the stops now, like they just have to. A lot of people have asked me what the Battle for Dawn will actually look like. And I think it will last an entire episode. Like one of my favorite episodes of all time, Season 4, Episode 9, The Watchers on the Wall. Probably my favorite episode of all time. You got Ghost ripping heads off, there's fighting, and all of the wall's defenses are put on display. There was like big ass giants and mammoths pulling shit. I mean, it was just good. And I'm expecting the Battle for Dawn to be just as good. Actually, way better. Like combine the battle at Castle Black, the Battle of the Bastards, the Field of Fire, the Battle of Blackwater, the lake attack, make it dark outside, it's snowing everywhere, the wind's blowing up the snow, and add some blue fire and BAM! That's the War for Dawn. But let's zoom in. Let's examine this. Let's look at what the Night King's army might have that we don't know about. And we're going to discuss a huge liability. So in Season 7, we got a zombie polar bear, and I was just like, free ghost. Anyway, the polar bear is actually from the books. I mean, of course that scene isn't from the books. The books aren't even remotely anywhere close to anywhere that scene could be placed in anywhere. But the concept of a polar bear zombie or a white polar bear is straight from the books. Bran sees one. The moon was fat and full. Summer prowled through the silent woods, a long gray shadow that grew more gaunt with every hunt. For living game could not be found. The ward upon the cave mouth still held. The dead men could not enter. The snow had buried most of them again, but they were still there, hidden, frozen, waiting. Other dead things came to join them, things that had once been men and women, even children. Dead ravens sat on bare brown branches, wings crusted with ice. A snow bear crashed through the brush, huge and skeletal, half its head slothed away to reveal the skull beneath. Summer and his pack fell upon it and tore it into pieces. Afterward they gorged, though the meat was rotten and half frozen, and moved even as they ate it. Ew! The freaking meat with the freaking hands were moving as Summer was eating it. I'm sorry. But Sam also sees a zombie polar bear. His Garen screamed and reared and almost threw him as the bear came staggering through the snow. Sam pissed himself all over again. I didn't think I had any more left inside of me. The bear was dead, pale and rotting, its fur and skin all slothed off, and half its right arm burned to the bone. Yet still it came on, only its eyes lived, bright blue, just as John said. They shone like frozen stars. Thorin Smallwood charged, his longsword shining all orange and red from the light of the fire. His swing near took the bear's head off, and the bear took his. So those two quotes actually explain why they did the polar bear, because it's from the books, and it was kind of dope. Then after we see polar bears, we see a dragon breathing blue flames, and just like, okay, greatest show of all time. But then it's like, what could you possibly do CGI wise, crazy shit wise, to take it to the next level for season 8? I mean, think about it. We have leveled up every season. I mean, just compare season 1 White Walkers to season 3 White Walkers. I mean, look at these dragons and tell me how they aren't real. because it looks like I can buy one and it can be my pet and I can love it and hug it and squeeze it. Like, Game of Thrones is like CGI cream of the crop. But I'm getting off track. So there are no undead dragons in the books, nor is there any dragons that breathe blue fire. There's not even a legend from the World Book of anywhere that says anything about the Night King, Night's King, or White Walkers having dragons or reanimated dragons. Now, there are tales or legends of ice dragons, which don't look like how Viserion looked. So the ice dragons from the books are made of living ice with icy pale blue eyes, vast translucent wings, and they are supposedly larger than the dragons of Valyria. So Viserion isn't translucent. I mean, you can kind of see through his wings, but that's because they have holes in them, which, you know what, I can't. So I was wondering what animals or other things that the Night King might have that we didn't see or we haven't seen yet. So let's see what the books say. I found mention of dragon glass. The children of the forest used to give the Night's Watch 100 obsidian daggers every year during the Age of Heroes. The others come when it's cold, most of the tales agree, or else it gets cold when they come. Sometimes they appear during snowstorms and melt away when the sky's clear. They hide from the light of the sun and emerge by night, or else night falls when they emerge. Some stories speak of them riding the corpses of dead animals, bears, direwolves, mammoths, horses. It makes no matter so long as the beast is dead. The one that killed Small Paul was riding a dead horse, so that part's plainly true. Some accounts speak of giant ice spiders too. I don't know what those are. Men who fall in battle against the others must be burned, or else the dead will rise again as their thralls. So they named some animals in this quote that the White Walkers could have. So we've already had horses, undead horses. We've had the undead polar bear. We've also had mammoths that weren't dead, that weren't undead. They were living mammoths, which the mammoths they've made already, like, they could like easily be zombified. So at least we know that they have already done mammoth CGI. But then there are two other animals in the quote: direwolves and ice spiders. If the Night King is indeed a Stark, he's gonna have at least one direwolf, right? Well, the Whites killed Summer, so what happened to Summer? Is he undead, roaming the north? Is he with the Night King? Well, let's take a look. So when Leaf uses that firebomb thingy, I'm not sure if that fire burned Summer's body. So Summer could come back. If you're killed by the White Walkers and you're not burned, you'll turn. So if Summer wasn't burned by this bomb, then he's a white wolf. Leaf did get a little ways from Summer, but it's hard to know how far into the cave that firebomb penetrated. At first, you may not think a wolf is that dangerous, especially compared to a dragon, but Greywind was very efficient in battle.
Run it!
So if the Night King has a dead direwolf, best believe he's going to raise it up from the dead and add it to his army. But he better hope he doesn't do it to Summer, because Bran is a part of Summer, and that part can never die. So Bran spent a lot of time in Summer. Bran warged Summer like every day. Someone else was in the Raven, he told Lord Brendan once he had returned to his own skin. Some girl, I felt her. A woman of those who sing the song of the earth, his teacher said. Long dead, yet a part of her remains, just as a part of you would remain in Summer if your boy's flesh were to die upon the morrow. A shadow on the soul, she would not harm you. So if Bran were to die, a part of Bran would live in Summer, a shadow on the soul. But if Summer died, a part of Summer will live in Bran. They are one. It would be easy as putting on a coat for Bran to take control of Summer and rip the Night King's face off. So the Night King may not want to reanimate Summer. But if you're going to have dragons fighting dragons, then you should have wolves fighting wolves. I also like to see Brienne slay a bear, but I'm just being extra. Which brings us to giant ice spiders. I don't know what giant ice spiders look like, but the White Walkers were riding one. Like, imagine a giant ice spider, almost like the spiders from Skull Island. That was a good movie, by the way. So like those spiders, but covered in ice. Maybe not exactly that big, but at least as big as a horse, because Sam says the tales say that White Walkers rode them. The horn blew thrice long. 3 long blasts means others. The White Walkers of the wood, the cold shadows, the monsters of the tales that made him squeak and tremble as a boy, riding their giant ice spiders, hungry for blood. So I don't know if they'll do ice spiders, but I mean, I think they kind of should. Like, pull out all of the stops. It's the end. Now, a report came out from an interview with the actor that played Hodor, and he kind of hinted, well, I don't know if he hinted at his return, but he surely was tight-lipped. Like, if he's not going to be on the show, shouldn't he just say it? You know, like the actor that plays Catelyn and Stannis and Robb? Well, he didn't. This is what he said in an interview, and I'll link the entire article in the description box. The Door, the episode where he sacrifices himself, is one of my favorites. Me too. I think it's so well done. And you also have that little bit of mystery at the end because you don't actually see him die. Is he dead? Who knows? What? You said you would be open for coming back, right? Heck yeah. I need money, man. No, anything to still be a part of the show. You never know. You'll see in God knows how many bloody years it is until season 8 is released. It just seems to get further and further away. Have you been to the set? No. Well, it's right down the road from my house in Belfast. I live in Westeros, so I can't help but sort of still be around. Have David Benioff and Dan Weiss ever asked you to come back? I'm not going to tell you that. Nice try. So he's not saying that he's not coming back. And then he lives in Belfast. So it won't matter if you don't see him in the airport when you see other stars filming because he lives there. He's around. And we got no closure on his death. We don't even know if he died, which I'm sure he did die. And if he wasn't burned, he's reanimated and he may be in the Night's King army. And if Hodor's coming back, then you know Summer is coming back. And the same applies for Hodor that applies with Summer. Yes, Hodor died, but Bran warged him a lot. A part of Hodor remains in Bran, a shadow on the soul. So Bran could easily take him from the Night King and poke the Night King's eyeballs out. But what do you think? What kind of reanimated animals are we going to see in season 8? And will Hodor and Summer make a comeback? As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone who supports me on Patreon. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Please click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and join the Sweet Summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.
Shame. Shame. Shame.